Hey, you got the dirt? Remember Telephone as a kid? That game where you would whisper something in someone's ear and it goes down the line, and you hope, fingers crossed, that the information made it from point A to B to C and so on, all the way to Z. And oftentimes it didn't. Cheese and rice would turn into Jesus Christ. And, things got mixed up a little bit. That's one way to think of gossip, right? So you may be thinking gossip is a gift. What? That's throwing me off a little bit, but don't worry, it'll make sense. So let's start. I'll share a story, and that you can find this in Confident Introvert. It's this pivotal moment in high school when I was walking with this girl. She was one of the popular girls. We were walking through campus, and as another girl was walking by, she yelled out to the girl, "Hey, I love your skirt." And this other girl kind of blushed. She was like, "Thank you so much." And then as she kept walking, it was pretty classic, if you've seen the movie Mean Girls, or then this girl whispered to me, "That's such an ugly skirt, don't you agree?" And I was quiet. I felt stunned. And then she paused and kind of like glanced up a little bit, like she couldn't believe that I wasn't immediately saying yes. And she said, "Don't you agree?" And then I decided, I'm not going to answer this question. I have another question. So I asked her, "Why did you say that if you don't think it's true?" And she just kind of rolled her eyes and dropped it. We didn't go on another walk. Surprise. That's how some people bond. Some people bond through talking about people and shared meaning making. And yes, I have not just been on the receiving end of gossip, I've been gossiped about. So a key example that stands out to me was actually with a previous boyfriend. Of all people, his mom had some stories about me. And I had to, I heard them out and I was curious. I'm like, interesting. Moms like to talk in high school. Like, okay, cool. Those stories were new to me and they actually weren't my reality. But hey, and as an adult, a woman had introduced me to this person that I ended up dating for several months. And actually, maybe a couple months in, she let me know, "Oh, by the way, this person, he's bad news." And I decided that I would get to know him for myself. There were some gray areas, some potential conflicts of interest in the information that's being relayed to me. And I realized that experience is the purest teacher. As long as we're attuned to what we're seeing right in front of us, as long as we have open communication. And some people say, studies do suggest that gossip helps people bond. If you're an active participant, sure. Like, I know I had the opportunity to be great friends with that one girl in high school that wanted me to agree that a skirt was ugly, and she said the opposite thing. But do you really want to compromise yourself? Do you really want to ignore what feels right for you? Do you want to trade that in for a pseudo connection? That's what gossip is. So if you have been gossiped about, whether you know it or not, it's probably happened. Here are 3 reasons why gossip is a gift. Number 1 is that it helps you clear out some space for those who are truly aligned. So remember my story about continuing to getting to know someone, even though someone had spoken ill of him, right? So people who do not think independently, and people who potentially had doubts about you anyway that hadn't been expressed, they are more likely to give you some space. This is an opportunity to really embrace quality over quantity. And when you don't participate in gossip yourself, then the frenemy situation becomes less relevant. It can still happen in your adult life, but all that you can control is the way that you are in the world. So you know what? Do you, okay? Second up, it's actually a test. It's a test to let you know, give you valuable information. It tests how attached you are to validation. When you find out, this is why they say that ignorance is bliss, because if you don't know you're being gossiped about, you can kind of feel it energetically. It can feel funky. If you've ever walked into a room and people have kind of turned away or gotten quiet, you're like, you can feel that feeling. But if you become aware of maybe what the gossip is about, do you want to change their mind? And if you do, why? Do you know your truth? Do you need other people to let you know the life experiences that you have or have not had? Are you able to be misunderstood and not linger in their pseudo reality? Are you able to feel a sense of attunement with what's true for you and have a lighthearted response to this social dynamic that's playing out in front of you that you don't need to participate in if you don't want to? The third reason is that gossip empowers you to create your own story. So sure, people may say what they want, but they're talking about you. Have you heard all press is good press? I don't know if I totally believe that, but hey, you have an opportunity to decide, what do I want to stand for? Regardless of how people are talking about me, how maybe if you verified it or not, we're not thinking about that. It's like, wait, what are you passionate about? What do you want to stand for? And begin to actively put your own voice out there and allow yourself to begin to build your own reputation. Gossip helps attune you to who you truly are, independent of projections or stories that others may have that maybe are blatantly false, that maybe have kernels of truth. And those who become acquainted with you, those that are curious or inspired by you, it's going to become so clear that that gossip is total BS. And you just get to be you, connected and free. So I'd love to hear from you. Do you believe that gossip is a gift? Why or why not? If you found this video interesting, go ahead and like, subscribe, and drop your comment below. I'm Stephanie, and until next time.
I would love to invite you to a clarity session with me to find out if working one-on-one is your best next step. If you are ready to up-level your confidence, diminish social anxiety, build authentic, deep connections, and rise into the level of leadership that you are destined to rise into, then let's activate that. You can go over to thestephaniemichelle.com/coaching.